everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the benefits of taking a prenatal vitamin, along with the vitamins and minerals that they contain and how they're helpful for women and their babies. It's freaking hot here in San Diego. Whew. So when I first started this channel, it was to talk about my vitamin D deficiency because I recognized how many people actually have a vitamin D deficiency, and it's so important to me to spread information about that just on, why, how, and what to do when you have a vitamin D deficiency. So for me, I had a lot of hormonal imbalances, and one of the side effects was amenorrhea or absence of a period, and then also just irregularity when I did get my period. So when I very first got my vitamin D levels tested, it was 15 nanograms per mil. Now they're at 38.3, which is a lot better, but I still want to continue increasing these levels. So I went to my gynecologist to get my blood test done, and while I was there, we talked about my irregular periods. And as a fertile woman, there is a risk of pregnancy just because you do have irregularities with your period, so you can't really predict when you're ovulating. For that reason, she suggested that I take a prenatal vitamin. Since I increased my vitamin D levels, I have been able to get my period, but it has been somewhat irregular. I'll get it for a few months, and then I'll skip a couple months, and then I'll get it again. So because of this irregularity, my doctor suggested that unless I'm using birth control, which I am not, that I should supplement with a prenatal vitamin, just because there is a risk for pregnancy when you don't know exactly when you're going to get your period or when you might be ovulating. So I went home and I did some research on prenatal vitamins. I also bought myself some prenatal vitamins, and I want to share with you why you should take a prenatal supplement and all the good things that it contains. So this is the prenatal vitamins that I bought, and you can probably buy these anywhere and it doesn't have to be this exact one. But some of the good things that it contains are folic acid and iodine, zinc, omega-3s, vitamin D, vitamin A, C, E. I read about if it's necessary to take a supplement, and there are mixed opinions based on research whether it's necessary to take a prenatal vitamin or not. The Journal of Drug Therapeutics bulletin states that supplementing with folic acid and vitamin D showed the only benefit. So of all the ingredients in a prenatal vitamin, vitamin D and folic acid were the only two to show a benefit in women during pregnancy. Additionally, a professor at the University of South Carolina said that 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 is linked to health benefits in children. So there are people who believe that we should get, like doctors, nutritionists, a whole entire range of people who believe that we can get all of the vitamins and minerals that we need from the food that we eat. And I agree with that 100%, but at the same time, I feel like not all of us have a perfect diet. We don't all eat a great variety of foods every single day, and it can't hurt to take a little vitamin supplement just to help boost any lack of vitamins and minerals that we're not getting from our diet. In order to get all of the nutrients that we need, and this is for all women, including pregnant women, but when you're pregnant, of course, you really want to focus on getting nutrients for your baby. Everything your baby gets is coming directly from you. So the foods that we should be eating are seafood, cooked when you're pregnant, along with grains, dairy, proteins, fruits, and vegetables. So I'm going to go through some of the types of foods that we can get these nutrients from. Folic acid is something that is so important in pregnancy because it's needed for the neural tube development of our fetus, and that begins at week 6. So you might only have just found out that you're pregnant and the neural tube of your little baby tiny fetus is already forming. This is the beginning of the brain, the spine, and the spinal cord. So by the time it's forming, you might have already had a lack of folic acid, and there are women who find out they're pregnant. They're like, oh, okay, I'm going to take a prenatal supplement. Well, the way my gynecologist put it is that you should just start taking it before you ever know that you're pregnant, because it might be too late. This important nutrient is something that we can get from our food, but along with that, why not take a supplement? So foods that have folic acid are bananas, strawberries, grapefruits, things like that. So they are foods that we eat, but sometimes we don't eat them every single day. or some of us don't even eat fruits and vegetables, so that's why we need to supplement. The other very important thing to get while you're pregnant is vitamin D, and it is difficult to get enough vitamin D from our foods. There is vitamin D in eggs and dairy and fish oil, but I also like to take a supplement along with laying out in the sun. So I would 100% recommend getting more vitamin D if you're pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant. I know that I'm going to, just because I know how important vitamin D has been for my health, so imagine how important it is for your developing baby and their health. Calcium is another ingredient, and this is something that we can get from dairy products or dark green leafy vegetables like spinach. And again, it's one of those things where 100% you can get it from your food, but maybe you're not getting enough. It's very important for your bones, the developing bones of your baby, their teeth, their nerves, their muscles. And now onto iodine. So I've read a lot about iodine. It's really important for all of the cells in our entire body, and for your baby specifically. Research has shown that iodine is important for brain development along with higher IQ in children, and that women who consume higher levels of iodine have babies with higher test scores and improved visual and motor development. We can get iodine from foods like seafoods, fish, and seaweed. Lastly are omega-3s, and this is something that, again, it's really important for adults to consume and also for babies. Omega-3s are fatty acids, and the omega-3s in my prenatal vitamin are DHA primarily. So our brain is 60% fat, 25% of which is DHA. This comes from fish oil or eating seafood like fish, fleshy fish, which is all fish, but not all of us eat enough fish, and certainly we don't all eat seaweed. So other ways that you can get omega-3s are from eating nuts and seeds. These have different types of omega-3s in them. DHA is a huge component of breast milk, so for this reason it is believed that DHA, the component of having it in breast milk, is why women who breastfeed have children with higher IQs than women who primarily use a formula. So a good way to get omega-3s, vitamin D, and iodine are from seafood or fish, seaweed. I don't eat a lot of those things, but I did recently start incorporating seaweed into my diet. I take a fish oil supplement, and I also get omega-3s from my prenatal vitamin. So keep watching and I'll share with you a delicious and easy recipe for eating more seaweed. Okay, so now I'm going to share this recipe with you. It has basically two main ingredients, and that's seaweed, which I ordered this stuff online, and it's like literally straight from the ocean. It's kind of crazy, but it's probably so good for you. One of the main ingredients is iodine, which is why I started using it, because I didn't want to take an iodine supplement. There's a little bit of iodine in my prenatal, but I want to get a majority of it from the food that I eat, so seaweed. I have a cup of rice here. I'm going to rinse it off and add 2 cups of water. So I am like, I don't know if it's OCD or because I have a background in biochemistry, but I literally have to measure everything. So here's my 2 cups of water. I'm going to add that to the rice, bring it to a boil, and once it has a full boil, I'm going to turn it down so it's just like kind of bubbling, cover it, and cook it until all the water is gone. It takes about 15 minutes once after it starts boiling. While my rice is cooking, I'm going to weigh out some seaweed. So it's not very much. I have about 5 grams, which is like a half a cup or a fourth of a cup. First, I'm going to rinse off my seaweed and kind of like dry it off a teeny tiny bit, and then I'm going to put it on the stove and just brown it before I add it to the rice. So I have olive oil in my little pan. I'm going to add probably a teaspoon of olive oil. It really doesn't take a lot. I'm not making that much right now. But an entire cup of rice, that'll last me probably 1 week. I don't eat it every day, but it's always good to have just in the fridge for a snack. I made up this recipe and it tastes pretty good. It's really easy. There's obviously no seaweed in the traditional American diet, so if you have any recipes that your family uses, let me know. I would love to try it. The only really other way that I get seaweed is when I go out to eat sushi. This one is really cool. It's like red seaweed. It looks like purpley. It's kind of hard to tell on the screen, but it's not like your traditional seaweed that you have in sushi rolls, which is green. Another little secret, I share this with my dog. She freaking loves seaweed, especially when I have it with the rice. Like, she will come out of nowhere. Like, I bet you she's gonna come down as soon as she starts smelling me cook this seaweed because she's gonna want some. So this seaweed I ordered online from seaveg.com, and it's from the coast of Maine. So this is literally, they pull it straight out of the ocean. Like, sometimes there's still like little pieces of ocean in it, I swear, and it smells like the ocean. It tastes like the ocean when it's like this raw. So that's why I like to cook it, although it says here you can just eat it out of the bag. It's a little too much for me. It contains iodine, iron, phosphorus, vitamin B, magnesium, and it's not many calories. Now the seaweed down, it cooks in like 1 minute, and it's just crispy. It tastes really good like this too. You can eat it like chips basically, but I'm going to chop it up, and then when my rice is done, I'm going to mix it all together. So I have my rice. 1 cup makes a ton of rice, and there are a couple ingredients I'm going to add to that. Coconut oil, turmeric, and Himalayan pink salt. So I add about 1 big teaspoon of coconut oil, which really is not that much for how much food this makes, because it lasts a while. It's not like you eat it all at once. And my turmeric, I like to add this to as much food as possible because it's really great anti-inflammatory, which I always say, and there have been many studies that show it's like just as potent, if not better, at decreasing inflammation than anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen. Then my pink salt, probably 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and my chopped up seaweed. So there you go. It's literally so simple, so good for you, and it ends up being like a yellowish color from the turmeric. You have your rice, your seaweed, along with coconut oil, some Himalayan pink salt, and this will be good for like 3 or 4 meals, or even just as a snack. So I hope that you start to incorporate a prenatal vitamin and possibly even seaweed into your diet. They are both so beneficial to every human being as a whole, but also to pregnant women and our growing babies. After reading about all this, I do feel like we can get a good amount, and we should get a majority of our micronutrients from the foods that we consume. But I also recognize that we live, busy lives where we don't always eat the healthiest foods, and not only that, but not the most nutritious foods, especially when a lot of our foods are just processed and quick, easy things that we eat, on the go, or maybe we just eat a protein bar and that doesn't have like all these really good micronutrients in it. Lately, I feel like people focus so much on macronutrients, and that's really great and important too. But when it comes down to the health of our body and the cells and the basics of, our being, we do need those micronutrients. This is why I believe that it can't hurt to take a supplement. So for women who have irregular periods, or maybe you are thinking about getting pregnant, I would definitely say start taking a prenatal vitamin now. That's what I'm doing. And again, go talk to your doctor first. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just sharing with you my opinion and what I plan on doing for the health of myself and my future children. Comment below and let me know what you think. And also tell me, do you take a prenatal vitamin? And do you feel like it has helped you and your babies? Please like my video and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.